Yo, this is Supermax Hernandez, and you're watching Countdown City WrestleCast. Boom! I got it.
What's up, heels and baby faces? Welcome to another episode of the Countdown City WrestleCast. I'm your host, JC, and I'm joined this week by Tommy.
What's up, guys?
And there's something going on up here.
Did we invite somebody?
I don't know.
Oh my gosh, it's the Decepticons!
I am Alan Wrench, and this is 2020. And we are disruption.
Formerly Mike, Alan Wrench. Let me change the name right here. Oh my God. Welcome to the WrestleCast. We're having fun with this stuff. You can have fun with us. Our Twitter is at @CCG_WrestleCast. Oh wait, there's Mike.
It's Mike. Oh my God, Mike.
I had to run some dude with the mask off. I don't know what he was doing.
All
He was like, I need to fix this little screw, and I was like, here's an Allen wrench, but whatever.
Subscribe here on the Countdown City Geeks YouTube channel.
That was one of the funniest things I've seen all day.
Wow. You know, Alan Wrench might be the best name for anybody in Disruption. I'm not gonna lie. So today we are gonna recap NXT TakeOver 31, and we're gonna talk a little bit about Impact Victory Road, because that one just kind of snuck up on us to the point where I completely forgot about it last week.
If we don't have much to say, we can always talk about Victory Road 2007 because we were there.
We were there. That was awesome. Yeah, met a lot of.
Yeah, y'all were there.
Thanks, Hernandez.
Is that like the only wrestling show you didn't go to in Texas, Tommy?
I'm surprised you didn't go.
Yeah, I forget what was going on at that day. Hold on, because usually there was a reason I missed something. Like there had to be a reason. 2007 Victory Road.
Yeah, shout out Hernandez. He got myself and a whole bunch of friends tickets to that show, and then we got a good hotel right nearby, and met a whole bunch of people at where they were staying at the hotel. It was pretty.
Yeah, I think we've told a lot of those stories on the podcast over the last couple of years.
We have.
I don't know. I don't remember what was going on that day.
Well, clearly it was important. You missed a show, so
it had to have been. I just don't know what was going on. I feel like want to go back in my personal history. Like, what was going on in 2008? It was 2008. I checked.
2008. That's right. Yeah.
I'll figure it out. Anyway, we were saying.
Well, before we talk TakeOver, we'll talk Victory Road. This one kind of snuck up on us because then, with everything going on with the pandemic, my Impact Plus subscription expired in July, and I wasn't know what they were going to be doing as far as like free shows because pretty much. I think I watched just about every damn thing on that thing already. So, and it's no knock on this service; it's really good. But there hadn't been a live show, and I didn't know what they were doing. But this one was an Impact Plus exclusive. Some pretty good matches on the card. I haven't watched it yet. I'm planning to resubscribe, hopefully, and go back and watch it. It'll be on demand. So, if you haven't got Impact Plus, definitely get it and check this out. We were looking over the match results. There were some results that were a bit surprising to me. And maybe you guys too. I think one that stood out the most was probably Trey Miguel over Moose.
Yeah,
because Moose has been this dominant figure. I'm the real world champ, carrying around the TNA heavyweight belt, and Trey Miguel. I mean, great wrestler and all, but I figure with the push Moose was getting, I'm very surprised Miguel went over in this one. So,
well, I mean, yeah, but they've been trying to push Trey like crazy too lately. I mean, he's even in the world title picture, so you know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna.
I think all this is going to build up the heat for the whole Moose EC3 thing they got going. So you know.
Yeah, building to that. What surprised you guys looking at the results here? So.
I mean, I was going to say I haven't really honestly followed Impact as much lately, so I'd kind of be interested to see the storyline that went into Trey versus Moose. But also looking around, even though they lost, Triple XL sounds like my kind of tag team. So
yes, definitely. And congrats to AC Romero. He's lost a lot of weight since he began. It's really good. So otherwise, this would be like quadruple XL, basically. Tenille Dashwood defeating Jordan Grace. How cool was that? Because Dashwood hasn't been on Impact in a long time, or ever really.
Right. She wasn't for. No, yeah, you're right. No, because I think she was injured for a while, so she was like feeling out her contracts and everything. So yeah, it's cool to see her. This Jordan Grace downfall. I won't say downfall because despite her losing, she's had some really good matches. But it's like she's trying to get back in that title picture. But stuff happens.
Taking some losses.
Yep.
Congrats to her, by the way. I believe she just got married over the weekend.
Yeah, they finally were able to have the wedding. Yeah.
Cool.
So congrats to her. God dang it! Where's your husband? The name is escaping me right now.
Jonathan Gresham.
Yeah,
Jonathan Gresham. Thank you very much. Yeah.
You know what's funny? Mm-hmm. Here's what's funny. I met him before he became like the uber famous he is now, and I completely forgot. I bought like one of the. You know how wrestlers sometimes make their own DVDs of their matches.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I actually bought one of those, and I forgot I even had it until I was going. I was at my parents' house going through my stuff, and I was like, "Holy crap! I still have this. I forgot I even bought it." So
is it all ROH stuff or is it different promotions?
No, it was before ROH.
Oh, before okay.
Yeah, it was like he was just going to different indie places. The matches
cool.
he put together. So the guy's super talented. I'm happy to see where he's at. So here's another interesting fact that happened actually just before Victory Road. Ace Austin and Badman Fulton won the AAW tag team titles.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, just like 2 days before. Because AEW had a show. It was their first show back since all this started, and they won the tag titles.
Is that the Besties? Were they the tag champs?
Yeah, they did the best. Yeah, I was bummed about that part too.
not to tangent just a second, but I saw Fitchett on Twitter. Apparently, I don't know if this is true, and I haven't seen follow up but they may have gotten copyright messages from Savage Garden about their entrance.
Oh, come on!
Which I think is for one thing hilarious because I've seen videos of their entrance and that's the best thing ever. Like, I don't know because I saw Fitchett saying something, and I don't know if maybe he was messing around even, but he's like, I'm not a very smart man. Anyone could help me out writing some sort of a professional letter to the Garden of Savages and
to ask permission.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure they would grant it on some level. They're not even a group anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
They broke up years ago. I think Darren Hayes had a solo. He's gone solo, and Daniel Jones doesn't even make music anymore.
Maybe he was messing around. I don't know, but I just saw that and I was like, "Oh,
that's wow."
You know what? I use it as long as it's not TV. But yeah, I guess get permission.
Yeah.
Or just make a MIDI file of the song and have that play or something like that. Some little MIDI file, 8-bit.
That'd be pretty fun.
There you go.
The two matches on this I definitely want to go back and watch are Gianna Purrazzo defeating Susie. I know this was getting built up pretty heavily on Impact in the weeks leading up. And I'm curious to see if they're going to start turning Susie back towards Su
Young.
Su Young, thank you. God, it's been a long day. So Su Young, Undead Bride Su Young. I wonder if they're going to start kind of towing the line there. And then, of course,
I hope they do, only because I got to be honest. Not since The Undertaker have I seen dedication to a gimmick outside of a ring. Like when Rosemary and Su Young came to BOW for a show, which their match was no DQ, and it just tore the house down. I have not. I mean, they were interacting with the fans and everything, but they still had a certain level to their gimmick they were just committed to, and I just love that. So, and of course, I love the Susie thing too. To me, it's just as creepy. It's just. I'm sorry. There's nothing creepier to me than someone who's calm all the time. That's like, it's like, okay, you're disturbing me. It's 2020. Panic. Everyone's panicking. You panic.
Mike and I were at Heavy Metal. I think with our Tommy. When Su Young came in. Her entrance just tore the whole fucking bar down. I mean, everybody was all for it, and then just everyone was into that match. So
it's like I said, when they were doing the whole Dark Dimension thing and playing it like a really interesting B movie, I was like, this is what I want from wrestling. Honestly, give me more of this, and I'd have been happy. If they had just made a whole movie about her, Rosemary, Jessica Havoc, and when Ali was still there and Kara Hogan and the Dark Dimension, that'd been a whole movie. I'd have been like, where do I sign up to pay for this so I can watch it? I'm in.
And then, of course, the other match I'm interested to watch is Eric Young versus Eddie Edwards. On paper itself looks great. No titles changing hands, though. Even though Rohit Raju lost, it was via countout, so he did not lose the X Division title to Willie Mack. So
Was
go
I'm
ahead.
sorry, just real quick. Was this the first reunion of Heath and Rhino finally, or had they already teamed before?
they've been teaming on TV a bit. I know that Rhino was starting to do his rematch with Sean on the arm wrestling thing, and it was pretty hilarious because Sean had a block of money sitting there, and they kind of tag team so Heath could sneak in and steal the money, and then Rhino's like, "I'll forget it," and just left, and Sean has no idea that his money got stolen. So, yeah, they've been kind of teaming up on TV again and working.
Yeah, they're doing the whole hire Heath gimmick, and it's
Right.
actually pretty hilarious because it's like they have, I think they shot like a campaign video or something like that to hire Heath for Impact, or I don't it's funny. It's like I don't know, and I don't care because it's funny. It's Heath and Rhino together again, which I thought was one of the best tag teams I didn't know I wanted until it happened.
Yeah, seriously.
So,
I'm glad they finally got back together.
because my favorite moment was when they were doing that whole food fight, and Rhino was just sitting there actually eating the food, like he
Yes.
was
he was just sitting there, just like, wow, this is crazy, man, it's crazy.
I think that was a food fight where Cesaro was having an arm wrestling match with somebody. He wasn't moving either. Was that right?
I think so.
I don't know.
So
I was
that's-
thinking of that because I was thinking, was that the one KO got hit with the pie? We never found out who did it.
Yes,
That
that's right.
was it that one or before?
I don't know. That's what I'm trying to remember.
There's been so many food fights on WWE TV, you forget.
Yeah,
right?
seriously.
That's
Yeah.
a weird statement to say out loud, isn't it?
Now, we'll go from Impact Victory Road, which we highly recommend checking out Impact Plus, to
Absolutely.
NXT TakeOver 31. So now we know why this takeover, I guess, was probably on Sunday because they didn't want to. Maybe they didn't want to compete with this, or they're trying to give NXT that showcase on the Sunday pay-per-view. Overall, a good show. Now, shortly before this show started, though, they announced a change of venue. As far as we knew, this was going to be at Full Sail. They were going to be going back to the house at Full Sail, maybe some limited fans. But instead, we got the Capitol Wrestling Center. And this was basically done in the Performance Center. We're back in the Performance Center. They had the video screen where fans could watch, and they had some fans allowed to come in. These were actually fans that were able to come in behind the plexiglass with the cage, which I thought was a pretty cool touch, and cheer right there, social distancing and whatnot. So I think I did kind of like it because I didn't want them to do this in the Thunderdome. NXT has that small, intimate feel to it, and it's on the ring, it's showcasing the ring. So, your guys' thoughts? It was really a homage to Vince Senior's original promotion, Capital Wrestling Corporation. So,
Well, I mean, honestly, I think because I read some quotes from Triple H, and I think he way oversold it. I mean, it was cool. Like, it was a nice setup, but he was like, somehow this is an homage to, Vince Senior, but then this is also like being in the middle of a heavy metal rock thing. And I was like, it's a setup. You put fence around the plexiglass. Like, it looked cool, it looked nice, but like, I don't think it was anything over the top. I don't know. It was cool with me. It was fine.
I thought, I feel the same way. I thought it was cool. I mean, like, I mean, I don't think it was as epic as they were trying to build it up to be, but I think it was just a cool setup. I mean, it's like, oh, that's awesome. Cool.
For me, I guess it was a little surprising that they were wanting to allow fans in the Performance Center. I don't know how the screening process was, but obviously with the Performance Center being where everybody trains, if somebody brought COVID into the center and infected someone somehow, would that have been an issue? But I guess they took all the precautions, So
I heard what I heard some of the stuff online was they actually like gutted part of the Performance Center to set this up, and training's kind of going in pods. Like they bring one group in, let them train, sanitize, and another group comes in later, and they don't have, obviously for years past there was just like several groups, and one coach had a class and one coach had a class over here, and it seems like from what I've read, that partly because of obviously COVID, but also because they had to take a big part of the Performance Center to set up this Capital Wrestling Center, whatever setup. That's how the training's going for those that are still at the PC, just kind of in groups, one at a time.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
And the first match under this new umbrella was Damian Priest versus Johnny Gargano. I gotta say, this this was definitely a candidate for match of the night.
Yeah, it was a good match.
It was really good. So the interesting part with all our picks going through, there were no title changes on the line at all. And I think all of us at one point at least picked at least one title to change, and it just didn't happen.
Yep.
Yeah, I definitely went all in on the Garganos going,
And I did not.
Yeah. So literally, if I would not, I would have been perfect. Those were the only two I lost.
Yeah.
So.
Kushida, of course, getting the winner with Velveteen Dream. Nice touch, Velveteen Dream looking like Doc Brown, by the way. I thought that was
But
I like the finish.
Yeah.
No, I was kind of asked actually based on that. Do you think this was Dream's going to take a little time off to let things cool off a bit? Because they really worked like him, just like Kushida destroyed his arm repeatedly and just attacking him.
They might question mark.
I think so. I'm sure they've seen their share of criticism.
Yeah.
People sneaking people sneaking onto the screen with like Fire Velveteen Dream or Fire VD if they put his initials right.
Which just sounds wrong in and of itself.
You know, maybe he's due that time off, his arm thing, but this also twofold makes Kushida kind of an unstable monster. You know, and I believe
he should be.
I was going to say he's had a mean streak like that before wherever he's gone. So it's a good way to set him up and get him into a title picture. You know?
Yeah, it's one of those things that he has when they push him. Like usually he's like the nice guy of the junior heavyweight division until like he gets pushed to that point. So that's why I kind of like seeing this side of him because he's a beast. Kushida can go when you let him.
And he attacked him right off the bat. I loved it. And
yeah.
Now on the women's side of it, Io Shirai did retain. We mentioned no titles changed hands. She retained over Candice LeRae. But we basically had two returns or re-debuts right after.
Yes.
Toni Storm, very happy to see that. That she's coming back. And Mike, you have an Ember Moon background there. Are we sticking with Disruption? I don't know if I want to put you on the spot, but
what? No, I don't have an Ember
Moon background. That's all. That's what
Ember Moon.
Nice surprise there, though.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our
buddy Brandon was very thrilled to see that.
I think I saw it all over Twitter and Facebook. Yeah.
But I do have to say, Io kind of no-sold both of them. If you notice, if you watched her in the ring, because Toni came on the screen, and at first she was just like, okay, yeah, and then Ember shows up with the little, the vignette of the biker thing, and then kind of looking Mad Max like, and he was just kind of like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
So I was like, you got to sell a little.
No, I think she's doing that to kind of say that they're not a threat to her. And honestly, it makes more sense for her to do that for Toni than Ember because in Stardom, when Toni was there, I mean, Io Shirai was the top star. So when they were there at the same time, you couldn't get bigger than Io Shirai in Stardom at the time. So.
I'll say at least the NXT fans would know that. Vince would have no idea what you're talking about. But
it involves wrestling that doesn't even take place in the same country. I'm not expecting to know anything about any of this. So.
Which of those two do you think gets the first shot at Io? We probably think it'll be at Halloween Havoc, which will be a Wednesday night show when they normally have NXT. Which of those do you think gets the first shot?
I mean, I want to say Ember just because it was a bigger return. I mean, she had the vignette leading up for a couple weeks with the I'm coming back to NXT thing. She was actually on the premises, which has Toni been overseas or has she been in the US this whole time?
I think she's been overseas because she's from UK. So I think
she's from Australia, isn't she?
Oh no! Wait, you're right. She's from Australia.
Yeah. Australia.
And they've been pretty locked down when this whole thing started. So
I don't think she was in the country when this happened. So now she,
it seems like she's gotten back. Yeah.
Yeah. So now that those are lifted a bit, I think Ember's gonna get the first shot probably because Triple H is gonna be like, yeah. So everything in WWE didn't really work out. So welcome back to NXT. Get a title shot. No guarantee you're gonna win.
Yeah. My father-in-law is a jerk, isn't he? I don't know what to say.
At least she has that to fall back on because so many times people get called up and get lost in the shuffle.
Yeah.
So thankfully, this is going to happen.
Yeah.
Kyle O'Reilly, Finn Balor, impressive as I expected it to be. Finn retains.
That
One thing
match
that
was strong
one thing
style
to
as
note
hell.
about this is that it appears that WWE has worked out the issues with CFO. All the theme music was played like normal,
Yeah.
and I can confirm that the music is appearing back on the Apple Music Store. So for download again. So maybe they've worked that out. So
I don't know. We need to find a story because I've heard like they've got a new group that's I forgot what their name. I don't know. It's not an odd name, but yeah, I've heard there's a new group that's doing this. I don't know. Maybe they worked out a deal to keep the ones
old
they want to
music.
keep,
like licensing rights and stuff like
or
that.
at least the ones they want to. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Because again, it wasn't so much CFO directly. It was the label they were part of. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they had to work out something because wasn't the Usos new theme through CFO and Jay still has his, right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Now on to our pick results for this show. Myself, Tina, and Mike all went 3-2, and Tommy 4-1. Burley, barely.
Don't care. Io Shirai all the way.
Yeah, that was kind of the kicker. We all thought with the draft coming up that Io would probably drop and potentially get called up, but that didn't happen. So this will get into our WrestleCast ratings 0 to 5. 5 being WrestleMania 17, 0 being December to Dismember. There wasn't really anything bad on this show. All were very entertaining. The Cruiserweight Championship was good, but I guess it didn't hold my interest as much because I wasn't too familiar with the story, what they were trying to build up with this.
Yeah.
They did showcase Swerve a little bit too, but keeping it on Santos Escobar did surprise me a bit. But overall, I'm probably giving this a 4.25. Good show, like I said, not a bad match on the card. But it's just I don't know. It wasn't like the best takeover there's been out there. It's hard to top that what they've done. So, Mike, what about you?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go. Right where you're at too, 4.25, and some of the similar reasons. It's interesting, and I don't know if we've just become so desensitized to NXT or our expectations are just so high. Because I was kind of the same way. Like, oh, it was a good show, but nothing over the top. And then I saw people online like, this was the best takeover ever, and this was amazing. I was like, it was good. I just, the last match was brutal. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if they're kayfabing the supposed injuries that that both the competitors have, or they seem legit because they were kicking each other in the face.
Yeah,
and,
I don't know. To me,
they were pretty brutal.
Legit. It looked like it looked. That's why I said that match was straight up strong style all day long. That's why.
Yeah.
I was like that match looked painful as all get out.
So, Tommy, what was your rating then for this show then?
Honestly, I'm one of the people who said this is one of their best ones because I'm going 4.5 with this one.
Okay.
I just thought really highly of the wrestling part of this wrestling show. It was like because so barring the fact that I don't know as much about Escobar, I have followed the careers of pretty much everyone else in this whole thing, and I thought for a wrestling show, for what they were doing, they put on a really solid effort. I was thoroughly impressed the entire time. And the finish of the Escobar Swerve match I thought was pretty, I won't say inventive, but it was very different than what I was expecting. Like he hit the back of his head on exposed, not even like the regular turnbuckle, but the exposed anchor at the back of it. And like I thought that was pretty clever. That's not something I'm used to unless Toriano's in the ring.
It's true.
Yeah, I just thought it was a solid show without trying to show off too much. And I think that the match that really probably nailed it for me was just Balor and O'Reilly, because I think they just said, what if we do literally what the Four Pillars of Heaven and NJPW did, but we almost kill each other at the same time? So the exact same thing they did. Exactly. I'm with you on this. Let's go do that. And then when they got to the back, they're like, Nailed it.
You know, Tommy,
Going to the hospital now. Can't breathe.
I don't know if other wrestlers actually reference Japanese wrestling as often as you think they do or as you do. I mean, they may.
I think
just
Balor and O'Reilly absolutely do. I don't care what you say. You won't take this from me, Mr.
Oh, I won't take it.
If that's your real name.
I have a new Twitter to prove it too. Dang it, I'm about to make that Twitter now.
You're gonna have to WWE_Allen Wrench. Better claim it before somebody does.
Seriously. I'm not accepting that. If you try to follow them, I'm gonna block you immediately.
He's only gonna follow the other members of Disruption. And
Wait, no, you should do it, but they have a picture of just an Allen Wrench.
Yes, with a mask on. Overall rating is 4.33. Pretty good showing for TakeOver, and we'll see what W does with that in the future.
Oh, they made my stomach get that.
Real quickly before we move on, any thoughts on Adam Cole getting laid out at the end of the show and basically left there?
See, I
was gonna say I'm curious to see where this goes. I also heard some theories behind it, but we'll see.
Okay. Let's see how it plays out this week. And
like I said, I've heard a few theories that I'm curious if those are true or not, but I'll see.
And as I mentioned, they're going to bring Halloween Havoc somewhat back. It's not going to be a pay-per-view, but the Wednesday before Halloween, when they do their usual NXT on USA, that's going to be the Halloween Havoc show. So
yeah, so I was going to say with Adam Cole. See, I know they wanted to push Ridge Hollins. I just jumped the gun a little bit when I picked him to beat Gargano in the tournament that they had.
That's true.
So they just waited a couple months, and here they go.
Yeah. So basically, to not copy you, Mike, they just waited and pushed it back.
That's what it is. They're like, this guy knows all.
So Triple H basically said, "Well, Ridge, we're gonna push you this week, but this guy Mike in San Antonio, he said we're gonna do it, so we can't have him win." Because we got to bring him in as Allen Wrench and change his name eventually.
He's making fun of our gimmick. We got to change things.
That's great booking. Right.
It's such a good
now, we'll talk a little bit of wrestling news this week, but I guess the only thing we can really talk about right now was that we were right. I think all of us had picked that the leader of this disruption, Retribution, was going to be Mustafa Ali. I think we all knew he was going to be the hacker. I wonder if this is all going to somehow be related to him.
No. So they're going to say it totally was that they long-term booked this. But that they just canceled that because they got bored with it and then turned this up, and now they're going to go back and rewrite it.
I'll do you one better. As much as I think you're right, JC, I don't even think that they thought this far ahead that Ali would be the leader of Retribution in the first place. I think that they got such a dull reaction when they revealed them. They said, "Oh, we got to do something," and this is what they did. So,
but they got this right at least, right?
They got this right.
No,
I absolutely admit they got this right. I will not dispute that at all.
Now, what this does remind me of a bit is aces and eights. They're riding high. Huh?
Or Dark Order.
They're riding high on this. We made a great reveal. Remember we were there at that lockdown. Who was the president of Aces and Eights? The biggest thing that they did, and then what happened after that?
So good.
And
that was so good.
Yes.
And
well, hold on. It literally happened last night for when we're recording this.
This is what I'm having flashbacks to. That big reveal, that double cross. The next Impact episode, everyone's watching, and freaking Bully Ray breaks down the entire timeline of how they set this up and what they did. You have this dominant force that could take over, and then it just went all booked to shit.
Yep.
So this is what I'm worried about here.
Yep.
I like Ali in this role. We've been wanting him to have more of a face. Well, he's the only one without a mask on, so more of a face on TV, and have this role, show his charisma. We've heard his story. He was a former cop in the Chicago area, got fired because he wasn't meeting quotas. He was letting people know, hey, you're going to get a warrant if you don't pay this. Just come in and take care of it. And, he was being the good guy on this. So for him to have this setup, he's a great story, a real nice guy. And I've been wanting this for him for a while. This guy can do something on TV. Let's give this guy a shot. I really hope they don't fuck this up. I really hope they don't screw this up.
I hope this leads him getting a world title shot because of how he got screwed out of the Brock Lesnar thing. Of course, and again, insert anyone's name here when that happened. So
maybe that's the biggest lesson he's learned is when the music hits, just grab the briefcase anyway, because it takes Brock like 15 seconds to get down to the ring.
That's what I wish, is that he would have looked back, seen Lesnar coming, flipped on the bird, grabbed the briefcase, and then just ran. What's Lesnar going to do? You know? But that's...
Get real red and sweaty, but I mean...
I guess so. So
yeah.
If there's any hope that Hell in a Cell won't suck this year as it has the last 2 years, maybe this is it. So... We've all been left disappointed by Hell in a Cell the last 2 years. I think consistently it's been like the worst WWE pay-per-view.
And I don't know how they're going to do
it. Maybe Payback,
year.
that we've rated every year.
Yeah, that's true. Payback's pretty bad. But I don't know how they're going to do it this year in that building. I just don't get this.
Well, I was thinking of something, though, because of what they set up last night. I know we'll talk about this when we pick for Hell in a Cell, but it's Orton and McIntyre again.
Which makes no sense.
Why?
Which makes no sense.
But my point was, I've gone for Orton to win it twice. Hearing that they're like, oh yeah, they want to take the belt off him and put it on Orton. So I'm now thinking, do I pick him a third time to just, hedge my bet, or do I go McIntyre and this is actually the time that he loses it? Like,
or is he gonna go Buffalo Bills and lose it 4 times in a row? Like, what are we gonna do?
God.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's gonna be interesting to see how we pick that too. And since, as we understand, with members of Disruption appearing on TV, maybe there wasn't any sort of COVID issue. Maybe they'll actually get involved in the next pay-per-view as well, because that impacted what they potentially could have appeared on Clash of Champions and screwed some stuff up. So this looks promising. Please don't screw this up. I'm very happy for
I got to say, the way they, like we were talking about earlier before the show, the way they pulled it off, and I was thinking the same thing when if you were watching the whole show, they had a match earlier with Ricochet and Apollo Crews, and everyone pretty much got beat up except Ali. So he comes up in MVP's face afterwards and says, "I'll fight you out in there." Or I think they were supposed to have a match anyways, but he's like, "My guys are going to stay in the back, but you bring your 2 guys. I don't even care." He's like, "I'm going to beat you all up." And they're like, "Okay, dude," because I mean it's 3 big dudes, and Ali's not. So then when disruption hits and Ali pretends like he's gonna fight with them to fight him off, and then he just goes and gets in the disruption's face and turns around. Like it was really well done. Like if you go and watch the whole thing,
very cool.
Yeah.
Now that'll bring us into our 1-minute warning and the return of a good thing and a bad thing from Mike.
Return of the Mac. Sorry.
So is it going to be Mike presenting this, or is it going to be Alan Rich? That's what I want to know. Yeah. Oh boy, here we go.
Here we go.
All right, Mike, here we go. 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, like nothing happened, and we're still just rolling here. A good thing is that Cesaro has been a tag team champion for 79 days. Still a SmackDown tag team champion with Nakamura. A bad thing is that Raw has not been iconic for 36 days now, over a month. And then unfortunately, we got 2 bonus bad things. Once again, no Billy or Peyton on Raw. And on top of that, despite still being a tag team champion, Cesaro took a pin in a 6-man on SmackDown against the Lucha House Party and Matt Riddle. But I mean, why is he always...
and Matt Riddle.
That's not good shit, Vince. Not at all. My TED Talk.
All right. Mike, your thoughts on the tag team name for Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura?
Do they have one?
The Artist Collective.
Oh, well, that kind of started back with Sammy, when Sammy had kind of taken them over.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's something. I don't know. It's a name, like.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's not the greatest thing, but whatever. I mean, at this point, Cesaro is literally just like Mr. Tag Team. It doesn't matter who you put him with; they just become like one of the best tag teams in WWE. So,
Okay.
Yeah, the artist collective.
Yeah.
It worked better with Sammy was a part of it too, but
Yeah.
Let's just roll with it, I guess. Yeah.
yeah.
All right, Tommy. I assume we're getting a huge G1 update here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I may need longer than a minute because I also need to mourn for what happened in Stardom the other day.
Okay. Well, we'll keep it under 2, I guess.
I'll keep it to 2.
All right, ready, set.
I protest.
All right.
I'm just kidding.
Anyway, G1 standings, Kota Ibushi and Tetsuya Naito are sitting at the top of both of their blocks right now with 8 points each. Jay White lost to Jeff Cobb, but I know makes Mike very happy. Jeff Cobb still hanging in there. Poor Yujiro Takahashi. Yeah, but Yujiro Takahashi cannot get out the blocks, dude. He has not won a single match this entire tournament.
He's a Houston Texas, got it. So, yeah.
Yeah, true. But in Stardom news, Tokyo Cyber Squad is no more because Konami is a traitor, and she hit Jungle Kyoto, and we lost Tokyo Cyber Squad, and I'm not okay. On the upside, Donna Del Mondo, which is becoming my new favorite stable in Stardom, did get a new member. Her name is, I forget what's her name. Natsupoi. So, big things happening in Stardom. A major shakeup because when Konami, they lost, the loser's faction has to dissolve match, and she actually hit Jungle Kiona with a chair to break up Tokyo Cyber Squad, and then Konami joined Oedo Tai. So now the other members are kind of like joining random factions, I think. So, I saw the news, and and my wife asked me, she's like, "What's wrong?" I was like, "I'm in mourning." She's like, "Why?" Tokyo Cyber Squad broke up because Konami is a traitor. She's just like, "Okay." I think I drive my poor wife crazy.
No, not at all. I'm sure it's fun.
Yeah. All right. First off, before I get started on mine, I said after 2 weeks ago that I was going to order Big Swole's shirt. It came in. Here it is.
Yes.
So
Yes.
thank you, Swole, again for the video. As for my 1 minute warning, I know for a while when the AEW NXT Wednesday Night War started, we were kind of talking a little bit about viewership. And last Wednesday, the numbers came out. I think AEW was around 800,000 something, NXT 700,000 something. But none of them held a candle to South Park. 2.1 million people watched the South Park Pandemic Special. And if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. Just don't watch it with your kids. Because it's not very often a show with a mature audience rating gets shown in primetime TV across multiple channels and is also on HBO Max. But nothing parodies the real world like South Park. They covered everything from pandemics, the 6 feet social distancing, social justice, racial justice, teachers going back to school, kids going back to school, and Zoom meetings and everything. And it was all done perfectly. Okay. And if you haven't seen it yet, if you're not a big fan of South Park, though, I still recommend watching it because it was just so damn funny. And we can all laugh a little bit about what is going on in the world when South Park parodies it. So, yeah. Oh, man.
Did they blame Canada again, or?
No.
Blame Canada.
They were tracing it to a bat, but we found it wasn't a bat, it was a pangolin. They always find some obscure animal to blame it on. And when Trump got COVID in the White House, or was diagnosed with it, the funniest tweet I saw was, "How the hell did the pangolin get into the White House?" So, it was just hilarious. So definitely worth the watch if you haven't seen it. It was really funny.
Is the pangolin from Russia or?
China. The pangolin was also from China. So, but yeah, check it out. Cartman was just hilarious. Was enjoying his social distancing because he doesn't want to be around people, and definitely hilarious. So,
to be fair, I don't like being around people either. So
yeah. As for us, our Twitter account is at @CCG_WrestleCast, and you subscribe here to the Countdown to the Geeks YouTube channel. Let us know your thoughts on NXT TakeOver 31, on Impact Victory Road, if you got to see it or if you're planning to see it, and just wrestling in general. In 2 weeks we're going to be talking about WWE Hell in a Cell, because that's coming up then. As far as next week, I got an interview lined up.
What?
And it is with someone that we had talked about a year ago who had a surgery. It's been a year since. She's just getting back into the ring and training. Angel Blue. I'll be sitting down with Angel Blue via Skype, virtual call. Getting your thoughts on her career, her recovery, how she's been able. I mean, well, granted, she was out of the ring for a while dealing with an injury, but now how the pandemic changed everything for her. Just being a young wrestler. I think she just recently turned 30. Still so young, right?
Wow.
And
yeah, she did.
wrestling.
I keep forgetting she's younger than me. So
Yeah. And wrestling as a mother too, raising her daughter in the middle of all this and still trying to train and everything going on. So I look forward to the conversation. I've known Angel Blue for quite a long time. Tia and I have always looked out for her as she's up and coming. She's had a great career, and just last year had neck surgery to deal with some long nagging injuries, and she's back in the ring training with Barrett Brown, and she's looking good. She's looking healthy. So going to be meeting with her next week and talking about her career and everything. So that'll be the episode next week for the WrestleCast. So
that's cool.
Definitely would have had more interviews this year, obviously, but this stuff happened. But I was glad I was able to line that up. So, and I'm going to try and line up a few more virtually the rest of the year if I can, to squeeze them in and everything. So, or even as bonus episodes. So,
okay.
Before we go to the finish, I do want to say one other thing.
What's that?
Viewers, another thing we would like for you to do: comment your disruption name on this video. Join us, become part of Disruption, and let us know what we're going to call you. Right? Join Alan Wrench and the rest of us. You know what, JC and Tommy, y'all guys need disruption names.
I think I'm thinking of what's in my toolbox. I'm gonna go with Stud Finder. That'll be my disruption name, Stud Finder.
Oh, of course it is.
Yeah. You know, let's face it, when you grab a Stud Finder, as every guy, it's like a requirement. You always put it on yourself. Stud, right? You know, that's like a requirement before you use the wall. So Tommy, what about you?
Is it bad I always got one that never worked when I put it next to me? It's like, oh, geez. Well.
Oh, must not have any batteries.
And Tommy, your disruption name?
MP3 player.
Yes. He's our tech guy.
Yes.
Wow. Let's face it. Let's be honest.
Not even an iPod.
Wait. We're the Decepticons that can sit in so Autobots could beat us up. So Megatron could say, "Okay, that's the weapons they've got." Okay, good to know. It's like Megatron. Our guys are kind of dying. Yeah, who cares? Anyway.
MP3 player is the new sound wave at this point, right? So
yeah.
Well, thank you everybody for watching the Countdown City WrestleCast. Over here we got MP3 player. We've got Alan Wrench.
Bye, guys. Be good to each other, unless you're disrupting.
And I'm Stud Finder. And as always, heels and baby faces, remember, pro wrestling is real.
People are fake.
Hey yo, subscribe to the channel by clicking right here.
Or if you want to watch more videos, click right here.